Welcome back to Tony Hawk's Underground 2. I'm Insetic. With me again is Blank Tester.
Hey kids, how's it going?
Canuck Dude.
What's crackle-a-cackin'?
Skylar.
Hello.
This is the final part of Classic Mode. We're going to go through the final levels. We have Boston, some more remakes, and then if you do 100% of the challenges, there will be another special final level to end it all off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh sheesh, y'all.
We're going to look forward to that. But yeah,
What's a dream?
Real sheesh.
Yeah, we're stunting it up,
Welcome
yeah.
to Massachusetts, guys.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm watching Hamilton all over again.
I can't believe this is where the Boston Red Sox play.
Yeah. They
And I
play
love how
right
it says you
best team.
failed. I love how it says you failed getting the combo letters while you still have the C in the end. Like, the pop-up felt real late.
Yeah. Honestly,
that was
as you've
weird.
seen, I guess it is a little easy to accidentally pick up one letter while, doing something else
Yeah.
and get a bunch of, you failed prompts.
Yeah.
You fool.
It's like,
You
calm
flipped
down.
it up. Yeah, but I
You
don't know.
touched the letter C! What
I
is
don't know.
wrong with you?
I guess this is also, Skylar, kind of like your world tour for getting to talk about the levels you weren't there for, so...
Yeah.
I don't know, how do you feel about Boston?
In terms of Tony Hawk Underground 2, fine.
You
terms
mean
of
relative to its levels?
relative to its own level, the levels that you go into the story mode, it's fine. But like I said before, Tony Hawk Underground 2 levels rank very low for me in terms of Tony Hawk levels of all time, personally.
So this was the beginning of the end of the series for you?
No,
A sign of
because
things to come?
I took...
A doomsday
Jeez,
omen?
we're moving that up earlier and earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually we're gonna decide that Tony Hawk wasn't very good at all.
no,
Yeah.
Tony Hawk Underground 2 was when I went, gameplay is fine, the levels are okay, what the fuck is the story? And then when I played Project 8 on the PS2, I thought, man, Tony Hawk series is over. I hate it. I played the 360 version and went, okay, this game's fine. They just did really shitty job on making the PS2 version.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
Really?
where they're splitting games up per generation again.
And then I didn't get to play Tony Hawk Project 8 until a couple of years ago. I didn't in terms of the 360 version, and I also didn't get to play the Proving Ground version on the 360 until 2 years ago. So the only versions of those two games I had were the PS2 versions, and my god, those games are dead. They just don't work very well in terms of things. So that's what I thought that Downturn was, but Downturn was probably still Project 8. And Project 8 was the Downturn for me, and then Proving Ground did it a little bit better, and then after that it kind of was...
I think that really interests me, because I think this is an opinion I share, and it's not one that I thought was popular, and then recently I've started to hear it quite a bit, but that American Wasteland ended up being more of a dip than
It was.
a continue of the downhill.
Oh, yeah,
And Project 8 actually kind of holds up a bit better in
It absolutely does.
retrospect.
as someone who hasn't played American Wasteland or Project 8 or Proving Ground until a few weeks ago, I'd seen everything about them online, but I'd never played them myself. Yeah, American Wasteland ain't that good.
Yeah, American Wasteland...
That LP is gonna be a real sharp divider of when there stops being nostalgia backing up how I feel about this. Not that this is bad, but that perhaps if I, was with the Tony Hawk series for another year and played American Wasteland as a kid, maybe I'd be defending it more.
I played it as a kid. I didn't like it as a kid. So it was one of those things.
Yeah.
I have a story about American Wasteland, actually, but it's not a very long story and not a very good story. So I'm not going to save it for that.
Better
LP.
than just random bitching, so go ahead.
Well, you'll hear, this is an odd story. Basically, I went over to a friend's house, and by a friend I mean it was my brother's friend's little brother who was there. So, he was a grade below us, below me, and I didn't really know him that well. He's a good guy. We're friends now, or at least we were friends last time I spoke, but we haven't spoken in a while. Anyways, I go over there, and he has American Wasteland, and I hadn't played any of the Tony Hawk games. This was my first time picking up any of the Tony Hawk games and playing them, and he was just like, oh yeah, give it a shot. It's not very good. And I was like, oh, okay.
Great
I thought the Tony Hawk games were pretty good, and he was like,
They were.
not this one. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I was making a character, and I was at that age where, like, I wanted to play as, like, all the cool, crazy options or whatever. And I was like, oh, man, you can make, like, cool devil horns. And then I saw him look away from his monitor, his computer monitor, and he said, that's just about the only cool thing in this game.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
And that's it. And that was it. That was the end of, like, at that point, I just, like, I didn't even want to play anymore. Because it seemed to have such a strong emotional impact on him.
You want to play this game? It's complete crap. It's awful. I never have any fun playing it. You're not going to have fun playing it, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
and I finished making my character, and then I looked at the controller and I was like, maybe I'll just play Oblivion instead. And he was like, yeah, that's a much better game.
So here's my problem. Here's my biggest thing on American Wasteland. Like, since we're talking about it.
I mean, okay.
No, it's
no.
not,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, because I did the scene. I got the game. I went, okay, cool. Underground 2, still a fun game to play. Awesome. Open the game up. I see create a player. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna create my player before I start it, like I did in Thug 2. Cool. Yeah. I do it. I turn on Thug, Tony Hawk American Wasteland's story out of nowhere. Oh, you got on the island.
Yeah.
You
one of the
big
islands.
tramp.
Yeah,
you didn't notice? You didn't notice spin on it?
Huh?
You didn't notice? Oh, you're gonna notice spin on this one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Nah, you're just drowning.
I didn't know you could not have spin on them.
Yeah. But yeah. So real quick to finish the thing. So make your character, and then I hit story mode to continue, and then I realized I need to build off a crappy base that they gave me beforehand.
Oh.
That I need to
create characters only for classic mode.
I just lost interest in playing the game when he very angstily looked away and went.
I mean, yeah, when your friend shit talks, like, okay, we need to stop talking about American Wasteland because it's Canada. You were never here to talk about Canada back in Tony Hawk 3, Skylar. So
I'm home. This is a great level. I love this level.
Is this what your home life is like?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly
so like Canada's
this.
back, and they kind of expanded it. Like, that's where we sort of were mistaken back in Tony Hawk 3 about those two ice things out there where the stat point and the secret tape were. They added those for here, Underground 2.
I was here for Pro Skater 3's Canada level. Because I remember I talked about the
they were like part of the background wall. Like, you couldn't actually get there.
Yeah. I remember you and I talking about that. It was like, no, they exist, and you're like, no, they don't exist. You were
it worked out.
It was you couldn't get there, and
I love that your impression of Skylar being right makes him sound like an idiot. No, you can't get there, and you were right.
It runs like a commentary group or something. I don't know. Hi, I'm Skylar. I'm big-brained. I have a lot of good opinions.
I'm really smart, and I know about what I'm talking about.
Hi, I'm Skylar. I know Tony Hawk games, and I'm right like a couple times. But another thing, since we're on Tony Hawk Pro Underground 2, basically Thug Pro, there's a really cool thing that someone did where they combined all of the Canada levels into one big Canada level. Like, how like the Tony Hawk, how Pro Skater 3 on the PS1 had a different thing of Canada? Like, it had an extra? They combined that level with Pro Skater 3's Canada.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll show you, I'll send you the thing for the map. But yeah, they mix them all together, so it's a bigger Canada level.
No, I don't want to die.
No, I don't want to die.
See, if we were playing my version...
Okay,
you would have held him by the throat.
We're back to this.
But real quick, like, the town section of Pro Skater 3 on PS1, like the town, like the mining town or whatever. Over by where that parking lot is, basically straight ahead where we are now, where the cars are parked. That way is now town and more stuff to skate. And then to your left at the beginning is more stuff to skate.
Oh.
Like, it's just Canada, but got bigger.
I should download that and check it out.
Canada
Yeah.
EX.
when I
called Canada
record
Plus,
a Thug
yeah.
Pro video for after,
Yeah.
Thug 2. Aha.
Yeah, it's called
There's
Canada
actually a
Plus.
similar level where someone combined all the New York levels. Like, they got Manhattan, they got THPS 2 New York.
Yeah.
They even have the GBA version of Warehouse, because apparently
Wow.
that was in... Yeah, it's in
New
3D, like you skate it like a normal level. Like
That's
the lighting.
wild.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
just
pretty
based on the
crazy.
level render.
That's another one that needs to be downloaded for sure.
That's crazy, yeah.
I want to see that.
What's it called? And so, a slight thing that I thought was pretty cool that they did in the Canada Plus level. You see on the top of all the quarter pipes and stuff, there's that orange rim. Like, they change it and now it's red, so it's actually more realistic to the skate park that they slightly based Canada off of.
Oh, okay.
Because there's
That's nice.
there's a skate park in Canada
Oh, yeah.
that was like kind of like this one, and it has a
Calgary.
red. It has,
Yeah, I
it has,
remember.
like, a-
It was sort of like based on like Calgary Park,
Yeah.
but looking it up,
Olympic
it was
Park,
like,
yeah.
I guess.
It's like one of those things where you could see some inspiration. It's not exactly the same, but it's like we made this more Tony Hawk-y. So people knowing that, they went into it and went, well, might as well give it the correct like color
touch
palette.
ups to give it, yeah.
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 So
The piece de
that's cool.
resistance.
yeah.
So yeah, all that's left now is to get one stat point, which is like the hardest stat point. It's like, wow, you gotta really fight to get this one. Like, you have to grind up here and shimmy up this thing, and as you see, it's always like one more shimmy than I think it is, because I'm real worried about losing my balance. So eventually you're gonna see that I just, grab the rail, while off the board, and then kind of jump up on the light and jump to the next section. Like, I'm going to show that here because, this might be more reliable than, jumping up the thing and getting it so that you don't, lose your balance on, like, your 7th grind or whatever.
Yeah, like, I was just gonna say, what I always do for this one is I go full Tony Hawk Underground 1 and you go climbing missions on this one.
Yeah.
Like, this is the Hawaii building climb for me.
But yeah, there's, like, one
Yeah.
stat point way over here. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. And then you do the big light bulb grind.
Whoa!
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. And then I was just trying to do some of the cool gaps, but here the banner gap, you actually jump further than,
It was a nice
maybe
little
it was
homecoming
intended.
for me, but once again, I must leave Canada.
yeah, it was short and sweet.
Is there a reason you stopped putting points in at that point?
It was one of those where I just always took more time than I wanted to. But yeah, here we are in Philly, from Tony Hawk 2, which is pretty sweet, but I gotta say, for me, this is the one remake in classic mode where it's like, it lost something. Like, it's not as enjoyable as the other remakes. Maybe it's the kind of dull lighting, maybe it's kind of just that everything's scattered around and, since it's really late in classic mode, it's like it asks you for a lot when Philly never had the longest combo lines.
Yeah.
I don't know, just something makes this not as fun to play as the other levels.
I think for me, part of it is it seems like the scale is really off in this level, and also they spelled the word hoagie wrong, and that would ruin it for me. They spelled it Hogey when that's not how you
Okay,
spell
well,
hoagie.
It's pretty hokey, if you ask me.
So I guess definitely I'd like to hear how Skylar and Canuck feel about this one.
I was actually going to ask you because I guess to say a little bit about how I feel about it. Philadelphia is one of my favorite levels, like in the Tony Hawk series. A lot of them from being from Pro Skater 2, but like I actually don't really like it in Underground 2, mainly because of the goals. I just didn't find them as enjoyable as the Pro Skater 2 goals, and just kind of soured my experience on the level. And I've been meaning to ask you, like, how do you feel overall about the goals in Classic mode? Do you feel like the goals in the original levels are, like, fun, like, as fun as old goals, and the new goals that they brought in for the retro levels, do those stack up to the goals from their original games?
I guess I'm not really a goal by goal kind of person.
Yeah.
If a goal is like more frustrating than I think it should be, it, remains in my memory as that and I could talk about it. But otherwise, yeah, if it's fun, it's fun. If it's there, it's there. But I'm not saying like Philly has a bad set of goals. I don't think that is part of it. I don't know. It's even if it's like easier to get around here, like it's especially here in Thug 2, way easier to get up to the roof to drain the fountain, and even if that's not one of the goals anymore, you still might want to do so for combo in one of the stat points. It's just like I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Again, maybe it doesn't have the best lines.
Yeah.
Like Philadelphia in Tony Hawk 2 really works with what Tony Hawk 2 has. And maybe in a way almost you have too much. I don't know. I'd like to hear other people's opinions in the comments.
I was just gonna say a couple things about this and what we were talking about. For some reason with me, there's a very few amount of goals that are really memorable for me in general, and most of the time I separate the goals and the level completely. Like if a level has a if a level has a shitty goal in classic mode, but it's still a fun level to skate around with, I'm not gonna hate the level anymore. Like that's not gonna affect me at all. It's like, it's tough doing this one thing, but like if I turn on free skate when I'm just trying to mindlessly do combos and stuff, I'll play this level because it's fun. Like that's not gonna bother me.
That is like the exact opposite from how I feel. Like I found a lot of, because I've been replaying a few of these games on my phone. I've been emulating Pro Skater 4 on Dolphin, and I've found that I'm not really enjoying these levels as much as I used to, mostly because I'm finding a lot of the goals more tedious than I remember. And I really do tie that in with the level experience itself. Like, a lot of my enjoyment of these levels is based on the goals and how much fun I have with them.
Yeah, I mean, that is fundamental to the level design, but I definitely see what Skylar's getting at there.
Yeah.
With, like, there's definitely, I mean, I don't play extreme sports games, right? So, like, I don't have exactly the same experience with, like, other types of games, but there are some games that I play just to, like, noodle around in.
Yeah.
And when you're playing that kind of thing, if your main experience, the way you view the level, is through that noodling around mindset, the goals are kind of a secondary thing.
Yeah, because
I feel that.
Because with me, like, I turn, like, a lot of the times if I'm in a conversation where I'm just sitting there and it's not like a conversation I need to be like deeply in, where it's like I could be doing something else while talking to somebody, a lot of times I have Thug Pro open and I'm just in free skate just doing whatever, and so like I remember some of the goals and some of the things, but like at this point I'm more of how much fun can I have just kind of screwing around,
fucking around.
Yeah. Like personally for me, not to like maybe like never mind, but like most of the time when I am playing these games, I am playing like through the career mode, going through every like goal methodically, not really like free skating around them very much, unless if I have like already 100% of the level, and maybe I'm just feeling a bit lazy moving on to the next level.
I will say, some of that, maybe if there's one or two bad goals in the level, that's helped by Tony Hawk having really good progression of never making you do everything. Aside from, like, the secret levels, you need to do everything, but, Tony Hawk is pretty lenient compared to some other extreme sports games that require you to basically do every goal to just move on, and in those, that's where goals can really compound and get worse. Like, again, I'm remembering, like, TJ Lavin, where not only was that just a clunky game, but it basically needed you to do everything, so I had to put up with every single part of its bullshit, whereas, like, if combo on LA is too hard, then you could just skip it. But so now we're on LA, and there's a nice little addition in the corner. You can go into the liquor store, which is a teleport to the production drop. Get it?
Huh.
That was how I got my first ever 1,000,000-point combo in this game.
Also it's kind of funny. You could definitely tell someone was getting hungry, because there's the goals for crushing the low-carb dishes. There's the goal for smashing the iced lattes. It's like, okay, you guys need to go on lunch break.
Yeah.
They were crunching way too hard at this point.
Sucking down on those hogays.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, too.
Oh, dear.
Again.
Oh, no.
I'm full of hot takes, I guess. I love Los Angeles. I don't think it's as good as people say it is. Like,
Damn.
people
I don't
hold
think
Los
that's
Angeles up to such
hard
like a
of an opinion.
But I
high.
mean, the earthquake's still here.
So that's cool, but like, I never skate on the freeway. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah. No, I was just pointing that out. 'cause
Yeah,
I
no.
did it.
Yeah.
But like, I hear like people have like Los Angeles up as like their like top 5 levels of like all time, and I'm like, it's okay. Like, I like it, but I'm not gonna put it in like my top 10.
I mean, to be fair, like, in general, I think someone, like, holding the opinion that I like something just not as much as you is a pretty agreeable opinion. Like, just
No.
in general.
Not
No.
according to the internet.
Skylar, you need to get the flip out of
Yeah.
my recording.
I'm just
now.
According
saying-
to the internet, Skylar's a hater.
Like,
Okay,
yeah,
well.
because like I'm saying the hot take comes with the point of I'm not putting
Yeah.
LA in my top 15.
I'm putting
Not
it in,
in
like,
your
my
top
lower
15.
echelon of enjoyable levels.
Huh.
Which, like, yeah, I can see what you mean. It's not
Okay, well,
particularly one of my favorites, but, like, I
what
enjoy
levels? Are there any levels that you would put in the category unenjoyable?
Like, completely
Just
unenjoyable.
across the series.
it. Venice Beach. That,
Okay.
and once again, that is because I do
I
not
love
like
Venice
the goals in
Beach.
that level. That is
I
a
love
fine
Venice.
level design-wise. Hate the goals in that level.
See, I
Despise it.
Venice is great. But if we're talking about just straight up unenjoyable to like skate
Yeah.
around in terms of like me personally.
I mean, however you rank enjoyable
Define
versus
enjoyable,
unenjoyable.
yeah.
So if we're talking about unenjoyable, you got fucking New Orleans. I remember I talked about
you
that.
mentioned that in
Yeah, New
the
Orleans
video.
is definitely not. If we're going like most Tony Hawk American Wasteland levels,
Okay, yeah.
like pretty much the
That
entire
is a hot
game.
take.
That like I
will
hate
say
East
that.
LA. I hate Beverly Hills. Like, not great.
I wouldn't say they're particularly my favorites, but
Yeah,
I do
the
know
only
that is
reason
a
I-
pretty hot take.
the only reason
American
I
Wasteland is bleeding in over and over.
the only reason I bring it up, the only reason I asked was because you said you would include LA in the lower echelon of your enjoyable level. So I wanted to make clear that like whether or not you guys had a category for unenjoyable levels, because like it's a stupid thing to say like this is in the lower echelon of my enjoyable levels if every level falls into that category.
Yeah,
yeah,
like
that's
then it's like
Yeah.
what are we talking about even?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's not really about levels, it's about the mechanics. Any level is fine in a game with good mechanics. Meanwhile, like, this isn't necessarily a diss, this is just, again, I never played this for myself until very recently. Like Project 8 on Generation 7. A lot of my experimentation is ending in a lot of, me falling down and crashing and such, just because
Yeah.
they've changed up the engine. So maybe in my mind, I don't enjoy, Project 8 as much as these games where I've known them and played them for years.
Yeah.
Does that make the levels bad? No. That just means that I don't feel as inclined to want to play
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I will
But
also
hopefully
say
I
though,
get better at Project 8 before
Yeah.
recording.
Very
also
different
do-
mindsets.
Here's the thing too. Like, just to add on to what you're saying, Connor. Like, a lot of the way, like, I put levels in terms of like how much I enjoy them. I compare them to the other levels in the game.
Yeah,
'cause,
okay.
Here's the reason why I know like most of the American Wasteland like exclusive levels I really don't like. When I play classic mode in American Wasteland, I enjoy Minneapolis. Like, I enjoy like the throwback levels in classic mode, but then I go back to East LA and I go, I hate this level.
I see, yeah.
And like in this, like in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, I enjoy the game. I enjoy a lot of the other levels in it, like Skater Island. I love Skater Island. Then I come to Los Angeles and it's like, yeah, I still like Los Angeles. It's just not up there for me.
Rear Admiral, come hither.
Yeah, I'm just showing off the movie theater stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, funny you bring up Minneapolis, because that's actually another level that I don't particularly have like fond feelings towards. And once again, that's really because I do not like the goals in Pro Skater 1 or in American Wasteland, or even in
Oh.
the Project 8
I'm
PSP port.
gonna take this over real quick.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Because there's a quick little Easter egg that's pretty fun. You remember back in
Oh,
Thug
yeah.
1, there was that Andy THPS skate park. And I talked about Andy THPS, how he was like, real good at the online of the first few games and got flown out. And here's
Ooh.
another reference to him.
Oh, that's cool.
The Andy THPS bunker ledge. If you can manual all of that, which I could only do by
You have to use
going
focus.
as slow as possible.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's
The
that.
triangle.
All right, so it looked like Los Angeles was the end, but it actually wasn't. Because we did every goal in classic mode, we have a
Holy
bonus
shit.
level, another secret level, the triangle. Yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah,
and
I do like this
It's
level.
got a lot of, ambience and such. Check the skyboxes, planes coming and going through portals, and
It's the Bermuda
classic
Triangle.
extreme
Oh,
sports
the Bermuda
law.
Triangle, okay.
Classic extreme sports law for the second time in this game. It's got to end with aliens.
Also, shout out to the Skater Island pirate ship showing up in this level.
Ah.
I'm sure we'll get to that in a
Oh, the
second.
aliens just walking around. I see
Yeah.
laser beams being fired.
Yeah, they're just vibing.
Yeah.
There it is. There's the Skater Island pirate ship, basically. It's not exactly
Yeah.
the same, but it has the same colors and everything on it, you can tell.
Right, yeah, and the same layout.
It's just they added a bowl more on the top, it seemed. Because I remember
They
the other
added
one
some
didn't have
water.
a bowl.
Yeah, it's also half sunken.
Yeah.
Also, that stat point was there in Pro Skater 3 as well.
Yes, it was, at the end of the mast. I like that.
But yeah, it's just really
Wow.
cool, and yeah, of course, one of the goals, activate the triangles, and yeah, you grind all of them, and some will pop out of the ground, and there will actually be an extra little Easter egg, another secret secret within a secret, sorta.
Yeah.
Here.
See, here's what I'm talking about with the Tony Hawk Underground 2 thing. Look at this level. Half of it is sand, and it doesn't, immediately kick you off the board on these parts. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird how they pick and choose sometimes in this.
Selective sanding.
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
know, so when I was a little kid, my brother and I were really into UFOs and all kinds of supernatural stuff, and we were I desperately wished telekinesis existed, and I was all into urban legends, and the Bermuda Triangle came up one time, and I was talking to my brother, and we were both very young, and we were both believed in a bunch of dumb shit, and my brother just plainly said nah, the Bermuda Triangle's bullshit. And I was like, really? What? How do you know? And his explanation doesn't actually make sense, but I believed it at the time. And I mean, obviously, I don't believe in the Bermuda Triangle as a special thing anymore, but for different reasons. But his reasoning was, there's this island, Bermuda, and then there's the two other locations of the Bermuda Triangle. And at some point, the island takes up space. It's not just a point. So there must be some beach that is in the Bermuda Triangle. And you can just walk there. You don't just disappear.
It was too crazy for even him.
Yeah, and he was like, no, you can just walk on that beach, and people don't just disappear when they enter that zone. So the whole Bermuda Triangle thing is just bullshit. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That doesn't make any sense.
No, because
at
most
all.
of it,
That logic doesn't follow at all.
Because most of it is airplanes and boats.
Yeah, but either way,
No.
the logic doesn't follow at all. But at that time, I was a dumb kid, and he was a dumb kid, and that
You're
argument
hold on.
was okay, I guess the Bermuda Triangle's bullshit.
Hold on, this man's
We did it,
spitting. Give
boys.
him a
We solved the
second.
case.
He was like, hold on, this man's spitting. Let him keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
Do it, yes!
Oh, fuck.
Hey.
Make Bucky Lassick proud.
Mothership, take me
Yeah.
home, bitch.
Country Road,
Take me home, space roads.
West Virginia.
Let's go
West
space
Virginia.
trucking. Come on.
Alien
I did actually
Mama.
I did want to ask you, Bob. You said there was a time in your life when you really wished telekinesis was real.
Yeah.
What if I told
Let me just tell
that-
you real quick. I spent an hour in the little play set behind my house just staring at a spoon.
Yeah. See, that's the difference between generations. Us millennials believed in telekinesis. All you Gen Zers believe in telekinesis.
He's got a point.
Okay, I know you're gonna talk about something, but here's the Easter egg kind of thing. You see these orange panels, and they're blocking something. Well, we're gonna unblock that.
Oh shit.
Fucking hell.
And fuck that half pipe too.
Yeah,
fuck that
and
half
fuck
pipe.
that half pipe in particular.
Yeah, we blow that up and we can get inside the island, reveal the conspiracy that was there all along, I guess.
Oh my fucking god,
There's
they had a
aliens walking
hallway?
around all about, but here's what they were hiding. And so yeah, it's just some fun
More
little
aliens?
scenes through the windows, you know, like, oh, evil test tubes. Oh, they're watching Star Wars, kid.
Okay, that is pretty funny.
I forgot about that.
Wait, one of the okay.
He's dancing.
Yeah.
One of the tubes was busted.
Yeah, one of the aliens got out.
Yeah.
Oh
But
shit.
you can also go into the core.
My favorite is like it's like I like how it's like, oh man, there's aliens here, and it's like, yeah, I just saw the aliens out there.
Yeah.
Like an alien.
It's again
alien,
like the science they're concealing or something.
yeah,
This
it's like
is
an
what we
alien
would have
breaks-
seen in real life if we had all followed through on our plan to
Go to the Bermuda Triangle.
Storm Area 51.
yeah, Storm.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, I'm glad we didn't do that. We would have spread the virus.
Yeah.
What's it called? Like, I love how also like it's the broken tube, and it's like, oh no, more aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
But I mean, it's a fun little thing at the end of classic mode, just like how Pro Skater was a fun little thing at the end of story mode.
Yeah. And we
I
did
wanna
it,
say-
100%.
So that's all story mode points, all classic mode goals, but of course I just did it on normal mode.
Now you have to
saw
go
that
back
I
and do it on
unlocked
easy.
a bunch of reskins and a bunch of secret characters, but you'll actually get different secret characters if you do everything on sick, or if you get all the gaps. And that's where kind of the bonus video will be. I'll get a file that has everything unlocked, all the gaps, everything done on all difficulties, 100% for story and classic. And we'll look at the many kind of bonus, characters, special tricks, and all of that are, given by those bonus characters in the bonus video.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was classic mode. Pretty fun. Pretty cool. Pretty good.
Pretty poggers.
Yeah. Had to get one in there. Okay, yeah, I'll see you in the bonus video.